You're tuned in to the Cre8 Podcast, where we explore the stories, advice, and insights from well-known and influential creatives in the industry. I'm your host, Cindy Morioki, and this is where creatives connect. Hi, Fena.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. It's a really dope space.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
very
and you're
much.
doing a great job.
Thank you. I'm blushing. Okay. Please let our audience know who you are and what you do.
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Fena Gitu, aka the Phenomenal Woman. I am many things. I'm a musician. I'm a businesswoman. I am apparently now an activist and freedom fighter.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, I among many other things, and I'm just a love of life, good things, good people, good spaces.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people obviously know you as a musician. And when I was doing my small research, I saw that you started off back when you were in uni.
Yes.
Right, so you attended USIU. So did I.
Oh, yeah? Which year?
It's much later. First of all, what did you study in uni?
Right. I did IR, International Relations, and a minor in psychology.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
And how did the transition to music start?
I think, I started music when I was a kid, and I started recording. I recorded my first song in class 7.
What?
Yeah, Reuben Kigame produced my first song.
Wow.
It was a gospel song, and I think that's the time I kind of knew, okay, I think there's something here. I was producing on Fruity Loops at home, like by class 7 and 8, Form 1. So just trying things out. In high school, I was always leading music. Not in choir though, but just like entertainment in school.
Yeah.
So I already started performing while in high school. By the time I was joining uni, I had a friend who, Isaac Hunja, big up if you're watching this. He had a guitar and we just started jamming out in school. So the more we did it, the more we built an audience in that space. Then we'd be called in for performances now, like Mr. and Miss, Campus Awards type things. And that's how I just started building the music thing properly. I did win a competition. It's been so many years. So it's like history now, but that's more or less how we got here.
I mean, your history is your journey. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
And what was, okay, you said you did it in class 7, produced a song. Is it that you grew up in a very musical environment, or what was it when was it that you first said, okay, maybe I can actually do this, besides, actually, what even led you to record the song?
Right.
Yeah.
My first memory is around 4 years old, performing in church.
Oh, wow.
So I was always like in the forefront of the music, percussions, or sitting with my mom in the choir, just like listening to the harmonies. So I could harmonize a song at a really young age. My sister is also a classically trained singer.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
she sings opera music, among other things that she does. So just growing up in that environment and seeing her winning, like, what are these things called? Fests, national fests, like bringing home awards. So as a kid, I was just like, that looks really cool. Then now growing up on like Kapuka, when Issa was coming out, that really just like sparked the thing. So when I was in boarding school in primary, I would write like really Kapuka jams, and just like we would kill a show in the dining hall after hours. So that thing just started there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. And since your sister also has a musical background or journey herself, that must mean your parents were supportive of it.
Yes. Raised in a single parent home.
Okay.
My mom has been supportive of her, even sending her to the States to study music at a time when kids were going for like computer science and things. It was controversial at the time. I mean, in just like where we come from.
True.
But she's always just been like, if this is what you want to do, do it. And then if it doesn't work, you have a home.
Yeah.
You can always come home. Yeah, so very supportive family,
Yeah.
very supportive friends. Those were my first fans. Like if we go into the archives for my first concerts,
Yeah.
there were like 5 people on the front row consistently, and I would
Yeah.
sing to those 5 like I'm singing to a
Masses.
stadium.
Yeah.
So seeing it evolve over time has just been pretty cool to see.
But that's nice. I mean, I'm so amazed that your mom was like, yeah, it's fine. 'Cause
Yeah.
a lot of African parents would have been like, you can do your little hobby on the side, but
Yeah.
so pursue something like concrete, as they would say, you know.
She struggled with it after uni, because there's that break now between uni and then what am I doing
You're
after?
trying to figure out life, yes.
And she was on my case, like, so you just go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you know, because I did IR.
Oh, yes,
so
true.
And I'm just at home, just bumming day in, day out.
Yeah.
And when I do go out for a gig, I'm gone the whole night, and then she doesn't really understand what are these crazy hours,
Of course, yes.
and you bumming the whole day. So she didn't quite understand until I dropped my first album.
Yeah.
That's when she saw the whole thing and was just like, oh, okay, I guess then just keep doing it.
She went from, the stereotypical African parent for like, you cannot be resting in the
Yeah.
daylight. Like, what do you
How
mean you're
sleeping?
sleeping? Yeah, you're
What
sleeping
do
at
you
this time.
mean? Yeah. So
But it's good that she saw your vision eventually.
eventually, yeah. She probably still hopes I would do a day job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's every parent. I think it's a security thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but it's
More and more now, I'm kind of just like, okay, maybe.
Maybe. Oh my
It's like,
goodness,
oh
really?
God, in this economy. But
That's it, though.
I always had this personal mantra of plan A and plan A only.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm still sticking it out.
And what are some of the highlights that you've encountered in your music career?
So many. I feel like such an Zai just thinking back, but I'm actually quite young.
I believe you.
I want to say the first introduction into the scene was like when Sauti Sol was starting out.
Yeah.
That's where we met. Sauti Sol, Elani, we used to hang out at Alliance.
Yes.
And seeing them evolve also was pretty interesting. I learned so much from that
Community.
cohort of artists.
Yeah.
So just like getting into spaces like Coke Studio, I think that for me was like the first big moment. Performing on stages with some of the biggest names, interacting with some of the biggest artists. So many highlights. Recently, I'd say performing at Blankets this year was quite a highlight.
I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was such a dope show. And I hadn't done it in 5 years, so it
Yeah.
felt like coming home again.
Actually, I was there for your previous Blankets performance because I think that was when it was...
Coffee was
around. Yes, I was there. And I remember
that was also
you
quite
performed...
dope.
Kakienda. I was like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm dead. It's over.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Blankets is special.
It is, yeah. I love what Modani is doing with it, and I've always been a fan of Blankets. So
Yeah.
it was nice to see you back on the stage.
Yeah.
And I hope we're seeing you again.
I hope so too.
sometime.
If you're listening, listen.
Modani, this is your sign. We
This
need
is
her
a
back.
sign. Also, she needs to join this. She needs to
Yes,
be here.
I really do want to have her on the podcast because I genuinely admire her so much and her
Right.
journey, even with Blankets, because I would also love to get into the event space at some point.
Right.
But wow, the way it's just looking like a journey. I need some mentorship.
But you can do it. I mean, if you start here and then you just build it,
Yeah,
nothing is
true.
impossible.
That's so
Yeah.
true. That's so true. And now, because you've had your highlights, I'm sure it has come with its fair share of challenges.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest ones that you can tell me from the top of your head?
Coming close to the sun and then I guess feeling like your wings get burned.
Okay.
I believe everyone has seasons, and I went through, I had a peak, and then I, just like things didn't work out, and I had to start again.
Yeah.
I think that for me was a tough, maybe 2-year break I took around 2015, came back end of 16, because I just needed to, also as an artist, you need to experience life.
Yeah.
Because what are you creating from if you're just constantly on the move? And
What is your inspiration, basically, yes.
I think I needed that just to call myself to a meeting and be like, okay, what is this you're doing? What's the end goal? What's the long game? How are you handling your finances? How are you handling who are you speaking to? How are you speaking to them? I started out doing neo soul.
Okay.
New soul, R&B.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really resonating beyond this community here, this Nairobi. And with that, gigs just became less and less. So you've sorted, you're at home, your mom is on your case, why are you not getting a job? So I wasn't thinking about my work more as a business. It was more just like, I'm so passionate about this thing, it has to work. So it took me that 2-year break to really call myself to, okay, you have a gift, but you also, this is a business. So change your attitude, change how, you present, how you receive information, grow up. Am I allowed to cuss on this?
No, you are go ahead.
Grow the fuck up. Yeah, I think having that called me to my senses.
Okay.
And when I came back, I just had to come back stronger. Yeah.
But it's beautiful to see that you were able to pull yourself out, because there are people who would have, been stuck in that like rut of, I was so close. I tasted it, and then it's gone. And then
tell you have so many chances. If you feel like you lost your chance, you didn't lose it, just come back to yourself, come back to center and try again. Keep trying. I mean, you see stories of someone getting their big break at 60. And
That's
I'm just like,
true.
okay, me, I don't have time to wait till 60, but I will keep trying until then. Yeah.
I actually shared something today on my stories about sometimes it's not rejection, it's redirection.
It's redirection.
So you just have to be trusting the process and just hope for them. But you have to also put in the work.
Yes.
You can't just life will work out for me.
You can sleep for like a week. And then you will feel it. Like if it's for you, you'll feel the discomfort.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had the seasons up and down, up and down, up and down. So I've also learned how to manage the stress that comes with the job. Sometimes, man, it's just hard. There are days you're just like, I can't do this.
Yeah, and you need to allow yourself to feel it. Like you're just like, I'm trying.
And that's where support system comes in.
I agree. And now, because you've mentioned a support system, and you mentioned, Sauti Sol, Alani, are there any other people Mudhoni, of course.
Yeah.
Are there any other people who have like really held your hand, been your role models or your mentors through your journey?
Yes. I mean, I've observed almost everyone. I'm very big on Kenyan music. I'm very in touch with what's going on. So a lot of my peers, inspire me. When I see them win, I'm like, okay, I guess we're doing this for real.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say I had someone particularly holding my hand, but I have people I can call on a whim. I can call DQ. I can call someone like Faki, who's a super manager. If I need a business, if I need advice on something. There's so many older people who have done this. Someone like Nameless, I can call Nameless and just tell him I'm coming for a drink somewhere. And just like this year I did a lot of that, reaching out to older mentors to understand then now where I'm at and the things I've done, how then can I have impact moving forward?
Do you have any specific project or piece of work that is a very memorable one for you? Yeah.
I want to say all of them. The typical answer is like, they're all my babies.
I mean, they all are. You put a lot of work into all of them.
The first album was, I want to say almost disruptive.
Okay.
That project, I mean, it was a sound people had never heard before. And it really set me up for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Songs like Phenomenal Woman, Jabulani, Rikicho. Dude, we were doing Afro House
before it even became a thing.
And it was popping then. Africa Massive. Yeah. And then the next album was Unleashed. And then COVID hit. So I didn't really get to push Unleashed, but it has mad bangers. Like Steam doing her thing though. Then last year was Love at Last, which for me is quite significant personally. I don't know about
For the audience,
people.
yeah.
You guys can, put it in the comments.
Yes.
I needed it to understand myself.
Okay.
It was it was like my diary that I needed to, because then I was going through the post-COVID depression,
Yes.
as most of us did.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of introspection. I'm such a lover. I'm a hopeless romantic.
We love a lover girl.
Yeah, we've been shining this year. Love at Lust.
Yes.
Love at Lust.
Yes.
If you haven't listened to it, just take a Saturday morning and just kind of, it's very easy to consume. Also intentionally. I didn't want to oversing. I didn't want to put in too much, because it's very heavy on some songs.
Okay.
And then some are just fun and light. So it's a good balance of who I am as a person. Yeah, I think it was quite significant. And then many other things, many other songs I've done. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so I'm going to put obviously your music in the description so everyone has
Please
a chance
do.
to discover Fena's phenomenal sound.
Yes.
So now can you tell me how you approach your creative process?
Right.
Like when you are coming up with your albums, writing music, even performing on stage. What goes through your mind in those times?
It's not one specific way.
Of course, yeah.
Wherever it finds me is how it'll flow. Currently, I can say I don't know if I'm working towards another album, or if I'm just gonna drop singles for the next couple of. However, I have an EP that's dropping this month. Hopefully, this episode will be out, and if it's not, it's the deluxe for Love at Last.
Okay.
And it's an EDM project.
And that's popping right now.
Mad.
I know we're all going to have a good time with that.
Yeah.
One.
So that, you see, like, that's so left, like, you don't see it coming.
Yeah.
And I like to do that. I like to experiment. I'm open to working with anyone as long as they're dope.
Yeah.
I prefer working in studio from scratch rather than sending me a beat to work on. Or if you send me a beat, send it with a verse or something.
Also, you need something to, like, I don't know, help you flow? Or...
If it's not my project, if it's yours, I'd prefer you send what you had in mind for the thing.
Okay.
Rather than giving me the work of figuring out
how to
create, where to take this thing, unless we're in studio together.
Okay.
Because then I can read you. See, like now in this convo, part of the creative process for me is I'm feeling your energy. I'm trying to see, okay, this is her temperament, you know.
Okay.
So it translates the same when I'm creating. Some projects are big and they, it's just like, it's a big production. So the boss hat comes on where you're like Blankets, for example, we were running a 30-person production. Yeah. So that's it's crazy. Like it's long days, long nights. Crazy. But then the output is just like, okay, we did that.
Yeah. After you're like, okay.
When you have the best people on the team to deliver the vision. Okay. So it changes. Or sometimes I can, like Juicy, I had an idea in my dream, like in my sleep, and I woke up and I'm just like, it probably sounds nonsense. Like if I go back to listen to it.
Yeah.
But one day maybe I'm going through voice notes and I pick up something that I tried doing.
And you can fine tune it later.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like that's creative. So. Like an idea can just pop in your head at any time, and you just have to write it down or do something about it. Take a recording or something.
Yes, I'm also not attached too much to the ideas because the ideas are so many.
Yeah.
But if I crack something, I really I have to see it through, and I obsess over projects. If I do a song today, if we have a session right now, I'll play that song on repeat for like a week nonstop. And then go back and redo it once I've understood it. So I'll do a demo, sit with it, understand it, choose to either re-record, although the demos are usually pretty good. Sometimes it just...
I love it,
then redo it.
Yeah.
Like Love at Last, a song like Love Is, I think I recorded 3 times. We redid the drums, we redid the vocals. Like it's until I feel like, okay, I think I can live with hearing this thing outside of my headphones. Yeah.
And I had a conversation recently with Charisma.
Big up.
And and we're talking about, he was saying the weight of, you know, recording an album and figuring out which songs that you want to put on the album is one of like the biggest quote unquote stressors.
Yeah.
So how do you decide?
It's really not easy. I think you play it over and over and over again. Currently, my conundrum.
We love the big words,
you know
over
what I mean?
here.
Is figuring out the flow of tracks on this EDM project.
Okay.
Do I start big and finish big? Do I start gentle and
Build it
climax,
up,
you know?
yeah,
So really, I guess just the more I sit down with it, the more I meditate over what I'm trying to achieve with it, then I can put the flow. Some songs won't make it, some songs will do. But usually if a song doesn't make it for a project, I hold on to it for the next one and then do that thing where I deconstruct it and then start again, or, you know, re-sing it. It could be the same lyrics, but in 2025, my energy is different from recording it in 2023.
True.
Yeah. And the context has changed. So there's just a different energy. Yeah.
I really admire you guys. I admire musicians so much.
Yeah.
Especially all of you guys who put out collective bodies of work.
Yeah, that thing isn't easy.
Wow.
When you see someone has dropped an album, as it just
Support.
give them props, give it a play, share it. It's draining.
Yeah.
It takes, because you're giving yourself. So, and you're giving yourself to people who will say this thing is trash, this thing is exceptional, like you don't know what to expect. So it takes a lot from an artist. So man, just show your artist love.
Okay, you hear, you go and you just listen to all her music right now.
Yes, please.
Right now.
Yeah, you can't get through it in a day by day.
Yeah, we are
Catalog
until next year. Every day until the year ends. I'll give you guys a pop quiz.
And I'm gonna keep dropping. This year we've dropped like 7 tracks. Just like now I'm back to, for as long as I'm creating, because I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not chasing the rat race per se. Of course, I'm in it to win it, but also I'm coming back to loving what I do.
And everything at its own time, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. And now you've talked about criticism, like, you know, some people will love your project, some people will not like it as much. How do you handle that criticism?
Yeah, I just don't give a fuck. Okay, that's
I love
not
it.
true.
No,
Well,
that's the ideal.
That's
though.
the
I get
ideal.
you. Yeah.
And I, you know, that's the energy I'll just keep. But deep down, you'll see something and it's just like, God damn. And the way I put in, or the way I thought this is the song that will make me international.
Yeah.
And then you're still back at it, and it's just like, okay, it's not for everyone. But then also with age, you're just not for everyone.
That's true.
Yeah. So when you finally understand that there's your people, and when you call, they show up. So feed those ones, and the more people will get FOMO eventually. So feed the ones who show up for you.
Yeah. I think that's important because often we are inclined to chase the bigger and the better.
Yeah.
And then we forget that, you know, we have people already who are willing to support us. Like how you said, your friends were amongst your first fans.
Yeah.
And now you have more fans, but your friends are still your fans.
They're still my fans.
They still want to support you in any way that
Maybe
they
even
can.
they're not.
Oh, maybe they're not.
Maybe they're not.
Okay.
Because also they're humans and they
can
have,
evolve.
you know, objective, subjective tastes.
True.
But I would hope.
We all hope so.
We would hope that you still are. But yeah, it's just understanding the ones that listen to you. But this is with age. But when you're like
Starting
at it,
out,
bro, just put in work. Just like keep pushing. Be in people's faces. Let them be annoyed by your face. You know, like, remember
Like,
when
again?
Kiss FM would play a song 50
over and over again.
Be that person.
Okay. Yeah, actually, even Kimanzi, we recorded his episode and he was saying how, like, you can see a TVC, like an advert on TV, play multiple times a day. But just because you've seen it multiple times a day doesn't mean I've seen it multiple times a day. So it's just good to just keep pushing whatever you're pushing.
Yeah.
Because you might reach the same person 10 times, but you might also reach one person for the first time. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Yeah, always just shop.
Yeah. Can you tell me a time where you took a creative risk and whether it paid off?
Every day.
Okay. I love that.
Let's see. My first memory is my first album taking a loan. Like I'd never done a loan from the bank.
Yes.
It was a risk. I didn't know if it would pay back, and it paid back on the day of the album launch.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
I was just like, oh, okay. So I guess then understanding more and more how to play around with money and make it work.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a risk I took, and then it just helped me understand how to run business.
Yeah.
Sonically, what's a risk? This EDM project, it could be a risk, but also right now I'm just like
You're willing to do this. Willing to take
it's
the risk.
for fun. I'm just having fun with it. So taking a risk also looks like working with someone remotely that you've never met. I do a lot of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see that it paid off on the, like, especially a bank loan, because I would be so scared.
Yeah, I was
But that's also
scared.
very validating.
Yeah.
To you as an artist. Like,
It's
okay,
like, oh, okay,
I can make money from this thing, or I can at
yeah.
least, break even, which I think
Yes.
is really important.
Yeah, it brings a question for now financing artists,
Yeah.
which is something I guess everyone is trying to figure out. But having tried it before, I think it's something that's viable.
Wow. Okay. And now that you've talked a bit about, moving from just seeing yourself as just a musician to now understanding the business aspects that come about it. How does that process look like for you? When did you know that, okay, I need to start learning about, how to manage my finances? I'm guessing it also came with understanding how to take, what deals to take, so what could you explain that a bit?
The beginning was first getting a solid team.
Okay.
I have a 2-person team now. We started as 3, I think. Because you can't do it on your own, and also it kind of creates that buffer to just let you be the artist. Another thing would be what?
Maybe like your brand deals, gigs.
Yeah, how to pick and choose what to do, what not to do. I tend not to leave money on the table.
Okay.
But I also don't just pick anything. I have to believe in, or even just like the thing I'm doing or the person I'm doing it with. If it makes sense, because again, I'm a business person, but again, I'm an artist and I really love this thing.
Yes.
So for the good of the art, I will do things.
Of course, because you need to continue doing the good things.
The good things.
Yeah.
But just understanding deals, making deals, understanding, for example, I won't say who, I was going to be signed by a major a few years ago.
Okay.
But the deal I was being offered at the time, I was earning maybe double in that year.
Okay.
So it just didn't make sense. But the name would have been like,
Big.
oh my God.
Yeah, like she signed with this person. Yeah.
So taking that step back to be like, oh, okay, this could be great. And maybe I fumbled it, But also I'm at peace. Like it's one of those things where I'm just like, it's okay, because it wouldn't have made sense for me in the long run.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
If they come back now, maybe things would change.
Be different.
Yeah, but yeah.
I don't believe
etc.
I don't believe in taking the wrong choice. Maybe that's also not the best.
Again, redirection.
Like it's like, okay, you know what? Imeenda, like life has to continue, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, in your opinion, sets a successful creative? Could be a musician or just creatives in general, apart from a good one. Like, what makes them great?
Consistency. Yeah. Through the failures and the wins. Consistency, staying level-headed, staying grounded, being unknowingly, what's that word? It's not resilient. when you just like always.
Okay, like, but I get what you're saying. Like grinding, like you're pushing 100% all the time.
I'm sure someone will put it in the comments. Kizungu imeisha hapo.
Sorry, we're almost done.
We're almost done. Hapo mali imefika. But yeah, just being aggressive about it.
Yeah.
You can see someone who will be successful. And me, I'll always want to work with people who are chasing that. Who are chasing excellence. It might not look big, but I can feel it, I can see it. This session feels like an excellent setup. So I know you're gonna be, it's gonna grow.
I'm blushing,
right?
Guys. Thank you. That's such a nice compliment.
But yes, so that's just, and it's good as creatives to pour into each other like that.
I do agree. Yeah. That's why I'm also really glad to hear. Oh, I hear that. I think that's our next guest. But I'm also really glad to hear that you had. Sorry. That you had like a good journey even with other creatives, even how you said like right now you could call people up and they'll hold your hand or they'll advise you when you need advice. I think it's very important as creatives to also have a sense of community in whatever way it is, even if it's with non-creatives, because there's some people you can reach out to who are not necessarily in the field but they still have something to offer. So it's nice to see that you have that and you're also willing to be that person for someone else. Are there any resources or tools that you've had in your creative journey that you think could be beneficial for someone who's starting out?
I don't know what to say, really. I guess the access to studios and I find that you can find it a challenge to find a good producer, a good studio that does quality work consistently. It's expensive.
So I hear.
It's expensive running a music career. In fact, if you just don't do it.
Are you serious? We're here to encourage people.
I'm joking though. But I guess access to good producers, good studios, good teams, I would say has been resourceful for me.
Okay.
And having people on speed dial.
Okay, I think that's nice to hear. Do you miss anything about not being a musician?
Yes and no. The privacy. Though I do lead a very private life.
I was going to say, I don't know much about, like, unless you want people to know, I don't think there's much.
It's really what I'm comfortable
putting out.
But, it's not lost on me that you're still very a public figure.
Yes.
So you're always careful about what you say, where where you are, what you're doing. Yes. But I'm also just about being authentic. So if I say something off the cuff, man, just
allow it.
It's a joke. Like, sometimes we just say some things. I miss that. I miss just the freedom of no one knows you. You can be anything or anyone you want. But I don't take it for granted.
It's nice to hear. Can you tell me what your goals and aspirations are in the coming years?
I feel like I'm an upcoming artist again.
Okay.
I feel like I went back now to start again. So like Love at Last was that moment for me to speak from the heart and then now see, okay, where are we going from this? I have a very long career ahead of me. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it evolves. Which parts of the world it will take me to. What I will leave for the next generation. I want to work with a lot of younger or my peers. I want to work with older people. Like, I just want to keep working
and collaborating.
Collaborating. It's so beautiful collaborating and just seeing magic come from it.
Okay, I love that. I think then you'll love to see our next guest is Sinjarai.
Oh, listen.
Listen. Maybe I'm doing a little connection here. Maybe I should get a commission.
Listen, we can discuss it again.
Just write my name in a song. I'll be fine. Like,
or you'll be in the video.
Oh, I'd love that, but not a big role. I'm a shy girl.
Nah. You're in a video, you're not talking.
Okay, that's perfect. It's fine. you've mentioned that you're releasing this EDM project, and I'm hopeful that by the time this episode is up, it will also be up. So if it is, I'll link it below.
Okay.
When is it coming out?
Before the end of this month.
Okay, perfect. Then we'll link it in this episode.
Dope.
Lastly, as we wrap up, what advice would you give to up-and-coming creatives?
Consistency.
Yeah,
just show up. Especially if you're starting out, take yourself to all those places. Take all the opportunities that are given to you. The money will come, but just show up first. Build your own name, build what you stand for, build your corner, build your community. It can take a day, it can take years, but if you're truly passionate about it and you trust what you're doing is good, and you're good at it, just keep showing up for the thing, keep showing up for the art, showing up for yourself, showing up for others. Don't give up, keep pushing.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a lovely conversation.
Yeah, enjoyed it too.
Please let people know where they can find you.
Right. At Fena_MENAL. That would be, I think, X.
I will link all of them though. Don't worry about it.
Also, I'm just like the X versus the IG me is different.
Yeah.
Instagram at Phenomenal. YouTube Fena Gitu. What else? TikTok Fena Gitu. At Phenomenal Style as well.
Okay.
We have a community base on Instagram called Phenomenal Style. We do merch. And just like join the community. There's always something popping if we're doing pop-ups or something like that. Private events. Phenomenal Ent is also on Instagram. We're trying to build that space.
Okay.
Follow that as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So we'll have everything linked in the description box. Thank you again for joining us
Thank you.
on the set. That was Fena Gitu exclusively here on the Cre8 Podcast. Please be sure to like and subscribe on this video and buy our merch because it's out. And you can also go and buy Fena's.
What do you have?
Yeah, I have some t-shirts and some tote bags.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Cre8 Podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. Like, share, and comment whose story you'd like to hear next. And in the meantime, you can vibe with us on all our social media platforms at the Cre8 Pod. Remember to stay creative, and I'll catch you in the next one.